Right, so today I wanted to share with you my thoughts about P&O ARVIA and P&O IONA, both marvellous cruise ships. They're the two largest cruise ships in the P&O fleet, both operating at a capacity of about 5,200. I've been lucky enough to have been on both. On Iona I went to the Canary Islands, and on ARVIA I went recently this Christmas to the Caribbean. So I was hoping to share with you my thoughts on their similarities, their differences, and ultimately my preference. So both ships are quite similar in their offering of activities, their design, their style and their size. Both of them operate with a passenger capacity of about 5,200, although saying that when I was on Iona it was just coming out of the COVID pandemic period, so there was a reduced number of about 3,000 passengers on the ship, so it had a large ship, quite a lot of space to ourselves, which we did see a contrast when we were on ARVIA, which was sailing at full capacity this year. Okay, so on to the differences. So whilst both ships are very similar, there are noticeable differences, and I think if we start at the top and work our way down, we can go through most of them that I saw. So starting at the top, deck 19, which is a sports deck. On P&O Iona, there's a large sports area, sports court, where you sort of play cricket, football, pickleball, so lots of team games that are in the agenda. On P&O ARVIA, in contrast, this space has been dramatically reduced, as you can see in the videos, and this is to make way for the tropical 9-hole mini golf course, which is sort of split people's opinions. I think a lot of people preferred having the larger space to play group games. From my own opinion, having seen both, I think a greater number of people were using the mini golf space than had been using the larger sort of open deck sports court. And above the mini golf there is high ropes, which is new on the P&O ARVIA. It's not on the P&O IONA, it's not on any of the other P&O ships, so it's a new thing for P&O, and that was being used sort of regularly as well. It is a bit extra, so you have to pay a bit more, you have to book in advance, but it did look quite good. So moving down, in the centre of the ship on deck 16 and 17, so the upper decks, is the Sky Dome, which is sort of a feature on both ships. It's like a big glass greenhouse, as you can see in the videos. This is sort of a main hub of the ship. It's where entertainment happens, so singing, dancing, quizzes, sort of pool games. But the main difference between the one on P&O Iona and P&O ARVIA is that the one on P&O ARVIA has a retractable roof, so the roof opens up, whereas on P&O Iona the roof is fixed. I'm led to believe that this is because the P&O ARVIA is designed more for warmer climates, so the Mediterranean and the Caribbean, whereas P&O Iona sort of goes to Scandinavia, the Canaries, so a bit of the cooler environments. Whilst it's a small difference, I think when you're on the ship, having a roof that opens up allows you to sort of fully enjoy the weather whilst you're by the pool, allows you to listen to the sound, say sort of if you're in Caribbean and you can hear the music on the shore. I think it adds quite a lot, and sort of I prefer the retractable roof. So moving on to dining. Now dining is sort of a great feature of both ships. There's a lot of places to eat, and it's something that I love about both P&O Iona and P&O ARVIA. But one of the main differences is in terms of the freedom dining spaces to eat. So when you go for dinner, there's numerous places. You can go to the buffet on the top on deck 16, you can go to specialty restaurants which you book and pay a bit extra for, or you go to the freedom dining, which is a bit more of a formal dining sort of place to eat, with sort of a starter, main and a dessert. But whilst P&O Iona has 4 of these freedom dining places, P&O ARVIA has sort of replaced 2 of them, so they only have 2 freedom dining places, and replaced that with an American style diner and also a larger, more formal version of the Olive Grove. So what is the Olive Grove? So the Olive Grove is a Mediterranean themed restaurant. You have it on the Iona, but it's on deck 8 rather than deck 6. And it's a bit smaller. You can go there for lunch, you can go there for dinner, and it seems a bit overall less informal. But on ARVIA, it was a much larger space. It was on deck 6 next to all the main freedom dining restaurants, and it was only operating for dinner. It seemed a lot more formal. And then the Keys. The Keys is one of my favourite places to eat. It's sort of a piazza area where there's sort of fish and chips, Asian fusion stall, and also on the Iona there was an American styled sort of burger place, but this has been replaced on the Arvia with a roast section. So they do sort of giant Yorkshire puddings with a roast dinner inside and gravy, and that was delicious. Another sort of change, I suppose, on P&O ARVIA from P&O IONA is that there's something called Green & Co, which is one of my favourite restaurants on P&O ARVIA, which they didn't have on P&O IONA. And this was sort of a partially sort of vegan restaurant, so they served delicious vegan food. I'm not vegan myself, but I really enjoyed it, particularly the vegan Wellington. And they also had a sushi bar as well inside that restaurant, so I tried sushi for the first time too, and I also really enjoyed that. And in terms of differences, I suppose one last sort of main one is that P&O ARVIA has an escape room called Mission Control that P&O IONA doesn't have. I personally never went to it. I can't really tell you much about it, other than the fact that it seems to have had mixed reviews from people who've been or sort of commented on it. Both are fantastic ships. I really enjoyed my cruises on both of them, and I definitely would love to go back on both of them. But overall, I would say P&O ARVIA sort of is a bit higher in my heart than P&O IONA. Overall, great ships, and I hope you enjoy both if you're going on both or you're thinking about going on both.